Hello, Skills USA. I'm Jack Kane, joined by my co-host Libby Hanley. We're coming to you live from Roanoke with Virginia and the nation's biggest stories.
This is Broadcast News. Stay tuned.
So Libby, what do you think of the competition so far?
You know, Jack, it's great seeing everybody come out, do what they love, have some fun with Broadcast News, and I'm ready.
I couldn't agree more. Now for the news. This Wednesday, Governor Terry McAuliffe won all 17 of the veto battles with the Republican-controlled Virginia General Assembly. However, the bipartisanship faltered when the issues of drones and surveillance were posed to the legislature. Both parties rejected McAuliffe's proposed amendments for loosening restrictions on drones. The CDC released figures this Thursday showing that middle and high school students' use of electronic cigarettes has tripled in the last year. After the years of stride towards the decline of cigarette smoking amongst teens, some are worried that this new trend will reverse those efforts. But the rise in e-cigarettes has been paralleled with a decline in actual cigarettes. The CDC reporting that only 9.2% of high school students have smoked in the last month. Libby?
Well, Virginia, we've made it. Two Richmond area businesses, Dominion Resource Incorporated and Altria Group Incorporated, have been ranked in Forbes magazine list of America's best employers. The recently released complete list of 500 employers also included 17 other Virginia firms. Speaking of Virginia business, the Virginia Supreme Court tossed out a case this week involving the First Amendment debate concerning Virginia-based Hadid Carpet Cleaning's allegations against 7 Yelp reviews. Hadid claimed that the reviews were, quote, defamatory, unquote, because the reviewers were not in fact made by real customers. Yelp claimed that the reviewers were protected by the First Amendment. The decision makes it so that now Yelp is allowed to keep all IDs of their reviewers private. Jack?
9 public school teachers, principals, and administrators were convicted in Atlanta this Tuesday of inflating scores on state tests. Judge Jerry W. Baxter sentenced 3 of the defendants to 7 years in prison, while the other 6 came out with a shorter sentence. The trial has turned into a strong argument for critics of standardized testing to evaluate students and teachers, while supporters stand behind the test, claiming that they help poor and minority children. 8 of the defendants are expected to appeal their cases in the near future.
Lawmakers in the Virginia House of Delegates this Wednesday both accepted and rejected certain amendments proposed by Governor McAuliffe to a bill aiming to prevent sexual predators from transferring to another college after being expelled for certain crimes. The basis of the bill is the result of Jesse Matthews' alleged crimes against women. The lawmakers narrowed the list of offenses that warrant a note on a student's transcript, but rejected the chance for a student to have the note removed after 2 years. The bill is now in McAuliffe's hands to either veto or sign into law.
That's all we have for today. I'm Jack Kane.
And this is Broadcast News.
Hello, my name is Dracario Jeffrey.
And I'm Brittany Noisette. Welcome to Skills USA News.
The Virginia House of Delegates has announced they will accept some of Governor Terry McAuliffe's amendments to a bill aimed at preventing sexually violent predators from transferring college and committing subsequent offenses. The bill requires public and private colleges to make a note on the transcript of students who have been expelled for certain crimes. The transcript notation bill was introduced in reaction of Jesse Matthews' alleged abduction of Hannah Graham and Morgan Harrington. He also had been accused of sexual assaults at two other universities.
On Wednesday, just before 3:30 p.m., a cooking fire spread and inflamed the inside of a Rustburg family's home. According to the Campbell County Fire Marshal, 22-year-old Samantha Roth was cooking and got locked out of her home by their family's 3-year-old service dog. Surprisingly, Ms. Roth made it into her home using another entrance and saved their German Shepherd mix, but unfortunately could not put out the flames. The Red Cross is currently assisting the family in making sure they have the proper living arrangements.
10 Atlantic public school teachers, principals, and administrators were convicted after months of testimony of participating in a widespread conspiracy to inflate student scores on state tests. Judge Jerry W. Baxter sentenced 3 high-level school system administrators to 7 years in prison, 13 years on probation, and 2,000 hours of community service, and a $25,000 fine. 5 former principals, assistants, principals, and teachers were sentenced to 1 year in prison and 4 years on probation, and also must pay fines and perform community service.
The number of middle and high school students using e-cigarettes has tripled between 2013 and 2014. The use of e-cigarettes among teens has eclipsed the use of traditional cigarettes and all other tobacco products. What is most surprising is how incredibly rapid the use of products other than cigarettes has increased. The results detail a quickly evolving landscape of tobacco products that appeal to teens.
The creators of Yelp, which is where you can review restaurants and other establishments based off your experience, has recently received a subpoena stating that reviews can only be written anonymously. This was done in order to spare the feelings of the owners of the establishment.
Richmond's Dominion Resources Incorporated and Altria Group Incorporated made the first Forbes magazine list America's Best Employers. Dominion ranked 37th, Altria 70th. Thomas F. Farrell, Dominion's chairman, president, and CEO, praised his company's 15,000 employees.
Well, that's all we have time for today. My name is Dracario Jeffrey.
And I'm Brittany Noisette. Have a great day.
Virginia legislation recently amends a sexual predator bill.
More smoke in schools. E-cig products are on the rise.
And a dog was the reason behind a fire in Rustburg.
All this and more coming up on your Skills USA News.
I'm Ashton Bailey.
And I'm Zach Maddox.
In recent news, the Virginia House of Delegates accepted some of Governor Terry McAuliffe's amendments regarding a bill that aims to prevent sexually violent predators from transferring colleges. This will prevent these individuals from committing any further offenses and also requires public and private colleges to make a note on transcripts of students who have been expelled for specific offenses. This was brought about in the reaction to the Jesse Matthew case. After copious debates and recess, legislation accepted the amendment to the bill that minimizes a list of offenses that would result in a note on the perpetrator's transcript papers.
Tragedy struck Rustburg Wednesday. Fire officials explained that a dog was the reason for a house fire, forcing the family inside to be displaced. Resident Samantha Roth of 22 was locked outside of her house by the family's dog, Lieutenant Shaggy Dan. Thankfully, Roth was able to navigate through another door to rescue the German Shepherd, but unfortunately could not put out the blaze. The house will be uninhabitable for some time until the damage is able to be repaired. This family was training Lieutenant Shaggy Dan as a service dog for the house owner Jonathan Roth of 26, who suffered a brain injury during his time in the Army. Fortunately, Jonathan, his wife Tammy, and his father Jonathan Allen Roth weren't home when the fire began. Looks like the lieutenant will be staying in the doghouse for now.
For all you football fanatics out there, this is for you. There will be a truly dazzling lineup this year at the William and Mary All-Pro Football Camp. The headlining cast includes famous quarterback Peyton Manning, New England's Rob Gronkowski, and Carolina's Luke Kuechly acting as guest instructors for the camp, which will run June 21st through the 24th. This camp is for boys ages 8 through rising seniors in high school, so don't hesitate to come on out and experience these great opportunities.
We now go to a subject that may concern you if you have a child in school. It seems that students in high school and middle schools are now using more e-cigarette products than traditional tobacco, according to an article published by the Center of Disease Control. The survey that was conducted by the CDC was composed of 22,000 students around the country. Regardless if these new e-cig products are as addictive or unhealthy as cigarettes, it is encouraged by health experts that parents speak to your child about issues such as these.
An infuriated Atlanta judge had a bone to pick with 10 public school faculty staff who, after months of testimony, stood before him convicted of participating in a conspiracy to inflate students' scores on test states. Baxter handed out relatively lengthy prison sentences, some even up to 7 years. That's all we have for you today, Skills USA. I'm Ashton.
And I'm Zach. Have a great evening.
Soon to come, Virginia Governor versus General Assembly against drones. Then, are kids finding alternate ways to smoke? Welcome viewers to Skills USA News. I'm Jacob Sexton, and here are today's top stories. Starting off today's top stories, Governor Terry McAuliffe was perfect on vetoes with the Republican-filled General Assembly, with the legislators blocking the government's use of drones to collect evidence without a warrant. The House of Delegates rejected the drone bill by a 69-28 vote. There was also a fight over the use of surveillance technologies to collect personal information without warrants, which ended in a split decision with the bills going to the governor's desk. Currently, the law can still use surveillance technology such as a license plate reader to collect information for active criminal investigations only. McAuliffe also proposed a new bill in reference to the Jesse Matthew case. This bill will prevent sexually violent predators from transferring colleges and committing offenses. The bill requires the help of public and private colleges to make a note on students' transcripts if and when they get expelled for certain crimes. The note will state that the student has been expelled for violation of the student code of conduct. We now turn over to some news coming out of Atlanta, as public schools are accused of cheating while testing. During the test, educators gave out correct answers, pointing to those answers, arranged seats so students can cheat, and also even arranged weekend meetings to change their answers. As of now, 10 people have come forward in front of the judge, but only 2 have negotiated lighter punishments. As technology advances, so is the way to smoking. The CDC has released a statement showing a strong increase of high school and middle schoolers smoking with e-cigs. E-cigs has shown an outstanding growth of 300% between 2013 and 2014. 2 Richmond businesses made the Forbes list of America's best employers. Dominion ranked 37th and Altria at 70th. Dominion CEO Thomas F. Farrell praises his employees for the award. Altria spokesman Jeffrey Caldwell stated Altria's employees are the reason we continue to succeed. The magazine's top 5 were Google, Costco Wholesale, Marathon Petroleum, The Container Store, and LL Bean. 17 other Virginia firms made the list, such as Five Guys, Norfolk Southern, and Serco. The William & Mary College All-Pro football camp will have another superstar lineup. As a 5-time MVP and Super Bowl winning quarterback, Peyton Manning, tight end Rob Gronkowski, and linebacker Luke Kuechly will be guest instructors for the camp that is held from June 21st to the 24th, ranging from ages of 8 to high school seniors. Rates are $475 for individuals, staying overnight, $375 for day campers. Discount rates for overnight campers is $410 for groups of 12 or more, and $385 for groups of 20 or more. That is all for today. I'm Jacob Sexton. Have a great day.
Virginia's House of Delegates takes action to prevent sexual assault at colleges. And later, 2 of the NFL's greatest are coming to teach some kids football at a camp in the area.
But first, a judge hands out strict sentences for several educators. I'm Dave.
And I'm Sarah. This is SkillsUSA News.
We begin in Atlanta, where a case involving test cheating has put 9 educators behind bars. Judge Jerry Baxter sentenced 9 out of 10 public school teachers and principals to up to 7 years in jail after they had been convicted of participating in a widespread effort to inflate students' test scores. The scandal, which was uncovered in 2009, involved teachers reading test answers out loud to students and even changing the test scores themselves. 8 of the 10 educators are expected to appeal.
The Virginia House of Delegates recently made a decision to help prevent sexual assault. A bill was introduced after previous sex offender Jesse Matthew was charged with the murder of Hannah Graham, a former UVA student. The House of Delegates accepted the bill that stated that all colleges are required to take note on a student's transcript of the assault only if the assault was violent. Supporters of the bill hope that it will help put an end to sexual assault.
Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe is fighting both Republicans and Democrats over electronic surveillance laws. McAuliffe is working to loosen restrictions on surveillance laws involving private cameras in public settings, while a bipartisan group is attempting to put up more restrictions. 2 separate bills have been put forward, which would limit police from using surveillance to gather license plate information without a warrant. McAuliffe, for whom security is a priority, still has the ability to veto these bills.
Shocking studies have shown an increase in the use of e-cigarettes among a younger age group. Findings show that e-cigarettes use among middle and high school students increased from 4.5% to 13.4% between 2013 and 2014. The Food and Drug Administration announced that it would begin to regulate e-cigarettes, but has not yet made any changes.
A Rustburg house caught on fire this week in an unusual way. When 22-year-old resident Samantha Ross left her house with the stove on, her family's dog somehow locked her out. By the time she was able to re-enter the house, the kitchen was ablaze. Firefighters were able to swiftly put out the fire, and no one was injured, although the flames left the house uninhabitable for now. The College of William and Mary will be hosting 2 famous football players this summer.
That's right. Star quarterback Peyton Manning and New England's Rob Gronkowski will be guest instructors at their youth football camp. The camp is for boys 8 years old to rising seniors.
You know, that's a really great opportunity for those boys to learn football from some pro players.
Yeah, looks like some pro athletes are in the making.
Boy, I wish I had that opportunity when I was younger.
Those boys are so lucky.
They sure are.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. This has been Skills USA News.
Thank you for joining us.
The Virginia House amends a sexual predator bill in response to the Jesse Matthews case.
9 Atlanta educators are sentenced to prison in test cheating scandal.
The use of electronic cigarettes is currently on the rise in schools.
All of this and more coming up later this morning.
Good morning from Skills USA. I'm Miranda Bausman.
And I'm Tessa Stellick. In reaction to the recent Jesse Matthews case, new laws were accepted late on Wednesday aimed at preventing sexual assault cases in Virginia colleges. Governor Terry McAuliffe's bill intends to reduce the number of sexual assaults by preventing predators from transferring colleges. With this new amendment, a note would be left on the student's transcript, allowing other schools and future employers to be notified of the offense.
Also, more news involving Governor of Virginia Terry McAuliffe and his suggestion to increase the amount of electronic surveillance. Legislation regarding increases in surveillance have all been vetoed thus far. No progress has been made towards the increasing drone usage in law enforcement or over increasing the time in which information from drones can be kept. This stalemate between the governor and General Assembly resulting from differing views revolving around personal and privacy and community safety as a whole.
The Virginia Supreme Court is currently divided on an issue regarding a California social media company known as Yelp. This case pertains to the rising number of First Amendment concerns and issues. There have been reported anonymous posters on Yelp that are sharing false information that have yet to be proven to be customers. Yelp is being held in contempt by Judge Lisa B. Kimler when they refuse to turn over documents pertaining to the anonymous post reviews on Yelp. Since this issue is divided, the case is overturned.
Currently happening in Atlanta, 10 public school teachers, principals, and administrators stand before Judge Baxter due to a widespread conspiracy that inflates student scores on state tests. Judge Baxter sentenced 3 high school level administrators to 7 years in prison, 13 years on probation, along with a fine of $25,000. 5 other principals, assistant principals, and teachers were sentenced to 1 to 2 years in prison and 3 to 4 years on probation.
Also involving illegal actions being carried out in schools, the use of electronic cigarettes used by high school and middle school students has drastically increased. Research shows the use of these cigarettes have tripled between 2013 and 2014. Currently around the country, 22,000 minors are using cigarette-related products. There are many repeating themes and role models being used to sell these products that are continuing to draw in minors. Cynthia Cabrera, the director of the Smoke-Free Alternatives Trade Association, supports restrictions on ages for these products, which will prevent minors from being able to use them.
And that's all we have for today. I'm Miranda Bausman.
And I'm Tessa Stellick.
Have a great day.